Morning, gang. I better do this over the sink here. Just a minute. Okay, sorry, ignore you there. Paper out of the freezer. Yes, paper is out of the freezer. One pack for Suga-san. She's finishing today the print they're calling Two Souls Entwined, the Overwatch print. It's finishing today. Checking whatever, drying tonight. It'll ship to Jed tomorrow and he'll send it out to the waiting Kickstarter backers. A year and a half. Also, paper is out for Day-chan. She's printing some more Patreon chibis. That's where they're getting ahead of us. We need more Patreon chibis. And speaking about Patreon chibis, I got some sketches from John Amos over during the night. I know next spring meaning a couple of months from now, we need another couple of chibi prints to go to the Patreon backers. And John Amos sent me a nice couple of designs last night. If he's listening, John, they're fine. Go ahead, run them up. Okay. Those of you who saw the sizing last week know what's going on here. There's a bit of a change since then. We have here a hot carpet on the table, which has been on for the past hour and a half. I had to get up early this morning to do this. On top of it is the board, and the paper we're going to be using this morning is warming up before we start. And looking up above my head here, I didn't show you this last time, we have a special kotatsu heater which is an infrared, 500 watt infrared bulb with a fan. It is blowing air down on top of the table. I have mixed feelings about that. I want warm, I want this paper bed, this deck, to be as warm as possible for this job, but I'm not so happy about the idea that air is blowing across it. So we're going to give it a try. Aoyama-san, our partner Aoyama-san, has fixed this up. And the reason we're doing this is because, oh, this is climbed up. I know this is false reading. When I came up here this morning, this was showing 10. It was showing 10, but this now little zone has warmed up to 10, 12, 14 or so. And under here, I'm sure it's much, much warmer. Toasty, toasty, toasty. So we're going to give this a try. The sizing I did, not the last batch, but the batch before that, was terrible. It was too cold. The glue gelled when it hit the paper, and the printers complained like crazy. The last batch we did last week with the first test of this warm bed, they said it's okay. So we're going to go ahead with it. I'm going to need a hairnet. Yeah, I know. You should. I did video last night, and the next YouTube video is coming. Yesterday was a day off from the shop. Cameron did a bunch of stuff upstairs, putting pieces together for me. I went downstairs, I got my stuff ready and said, good evening, this is Woodblock Memory David BRoll. The stuff is all in the can. All the B-rolls in the can, the slideshows in the can, the talking is in the can, Cameron's little part is in the can. Tonight I start editing and putting it together. So another David's Choice video, David's Choice number 7 is coming up. Sneak preview. How much of a sneak preview can we get? Okay, size is ready. You saw me mix stuff there. What I did, I cooked a new batch today, and I used a little bit left over from last week's batch, but it was too, that was a 50 gram batch, so I diluted it by 20% to give it 40 grams per liter. So the mix we're using right now at the super coldest time of year is 40 grams of glue per liter of water, and I've also reduced the alum. We normally do that at 15%. I've dropped it a chunk down to 12.5%. It's not that I can work to 0.5% tolerances, we're just not sure how much to step it down, so just to keep it on a graph. It's a good story, the David's Choice, it's a good story. I was in two minds. I'm delaying here till this gets a bit warmer. I was of two minds about the theme for this David's Choice. On YouTube we have that video remembering a carver where I spent a little bit of time with Ito Susumu-san. You know the story, you've all seen it. There's another video that we could make that I was thinking about called, and I was going to think about it, and I was going to call it Echoes of a Carver. And it's Harada-san, the carver who I never met. He died in the 1960s, long before I came to Japan. I was just a little kid. But he has had all kinds of, no, I was going to say influence. It's not influence, effects on me. I'm using his carving bench. We're using one of his images for our gift prints. I've studied some of the blocks he carved, stuff like that. There's a bunch of echoes. And a few weeks ago, a couple of months ago, his son Harada-san, brought a shopping bag full of stuff over it with some wood blocks in it. And there's some stuff in there that has, whatever. Anyway, so I was going to make a story called Echoes of a Carver about all these different influences Harada-san had on me. But rather than sort of postpone that, and also it would get mixed up with the Ito-san video, I think. So what I've done is I've made a video. I don't have them all here, they're downstairs. I've made a video talking about some of the small blocks that he brought, specifically this one little block. I don't know if you can see it, which would be the best on a video view here. It's a key block, so you can't really see it in the light here. Can I find a right angle that it will shine? Here we go. And these are, of course, look at the size of my finger. These are match label prints. So what we've done is, rather than make the topic of the video about Harada-san himself, we've made the topic of the video introducing what match label prints are and used these blocks as examples. And yesterday, as part of the video, I took a quick test print from this block that you just saw, and that's what we're going to see here. That's his name, harada. All right, I might be ready to go. What's the conversation here? Okay. Now, we have a bit of a problem here. The hot carpet we have isn't big enough to cover the whole table. I've requested Aoyama-san and he's ordered one. So next time we see this, the hot carpet surface will be everywhere on the table. Because I don't just need it at the place where I'm brushing, I need the paper that's waiting to also be warm. I've warmed up the paper now, but as soon as I take this off to start doing this, that paper is going to chill out. So let's see if it can stay. Problem number one. I think that has to go up higher. Aoyama-san built this all with a bunch of variations. He's got it on a string that'll go up and down, up and down. So. The paper's warm, but it sure won't stay warm for long once it's over there. So let's just get going. Talking about jobs, I don't see the... Okay, let's just do this thing. I gotta move I'm too close. How can I do this without dropping the net connection? I don't know. Let's find out. All right, let's go. Let's roll. So. Looking good, looking good. I'm a bit gun shy about that thing, it's right there. It's also dusty, he should have cleaned it. We've got a dust machine sitting on top above paper. This is awful. I don't dare touch it. The other thing we were nervous about, Aoyama and I, when we set up this thing here, we've got the heater heating the size. That's not 10, that's 1,000 watts. We've got the hot carpet here plugged in, and now he's plugged in this thing up top. We've got a refrigerator next to me that kicks in and out all the time. And all this is running on only one circuit that we've got here. So we're, when we tested it the other day, you know, we were just ready to see how long it would take to blow. And we ran it all for 10-15 minutes, and it seems okay. But I'm sitting here now just sort of waiting, expecting the whole place to go dark, bang, any second. The stream should survive. The laptop is on a battery. And if it does blow, we'll just stop the one above my head, and I'll go downstairs and reset the breakers. Yeah, I'm not sure. You're talking about firing a breaker. This is a very, very, very old building. There are breakers. In fact, it's a brand new panel. We put in the new panel ourselves 4 years ago. So of course there's a breaker system. But between here and the breaker, some of the wiring I put in is okay. It's brand new cable, carefully prepared, all that stuff. But the old structural wiring inside the walls in the building, it's 2 wires run between white insulators. It's really, really, really old stuff. And I could well believe it's probably cloth covered wire. And if we start getting a circuit too hot, it actually could, I don't know, cause trouble, real trouble. So I have to be on the ball here. Yeah, when we redid the second floor, that was 4.5 years ago. When we did it, we took the wall, we took the plaster off the walls, we took some of the walls down, we punched holes in the ceiling, and we found that stuff, the wire and insulators. So of course we ran around it. We put our new wiring on the second floor. We just cut those things off at source and just ran our new wiring through the whole second floor. But the third floor, up here where I am now, we've never done that. We have no access to it, actually. That stuff is running through the concrete walls. And we have no access to it. So you're right, the disposable housing, there's no incentive to try and fix things like that because the building itself will come down. This building already, it's past life. It's longer than it should have survived. That's why when we did our renovation, we didn't need any kind of inspections. City Hall doesn't even know we renovated this place. They don't care. The assumption from the authorities is a building this old will be coming down anyway as a matter of course. So you can do what you want with it. We were never inspected. We were never code checked. We were never anything. We didn't have to make plans. We totally gutted the second floor, put new wiring in, new plumbing, new everything. City Hall doesn't even know about it. They don't care. New construction is different. New construction is extremely strict here. The codes are changing all the time. More earthquake resistance is demanded. Things like wheelchair access elevators. The new codes here are extremely strong. But renovation, they don't care. This is quite a deck here. We've got 21 sheets of Takinaga paper. The large Takinaga paper is cut in half to make 42 of these sheets. And up to a couple of weeks ago, that's more than I would have tried to do at once in cold temperatures. But because this hot carpet thing worked well last week, we're going to give this a go. But 42 sheets here. Trying to keep it all warm. You had a concern about the lack of code and about checking and inspections. You know, we were astonished by this when we did our renovation, 4 years ago. We were so happy, actually. We were able to do it by ourselves. I mean, we just went out and bought some wire, bought a new electrical panel, wired it up together, got it all done. It didn't cost us much at all. So it was really convenient for us. I'm really happy that it's like that. But on the other hand, I'm not happy to be living in a city where woodblock printmakers do the wiring for public buildings. You say, do I live here? I mean, I don't live here in the strict sense, but I sleep here, I crash out. I've got 3 shirts that I rotate through the washing machine. It's not my official residence. In Japan, everybody has a registered residence. And for me, that's my home out in Ome. It's part of our workshop, of course. But, so where do I live is a bit of an open question. I don't have a bed and a desk and all that kind of stuff. There's no kitchen. So where do I live? It's just, whatever. I sleep here down in the old party room on the 2nd floor. I roll out of bed, roll every night, roll back up in the morning. But there's no kitchen here, there's no cooking, there's no nothing like that, so you can't really say somebody lives here. Oops, a bit too much there at the top. How much you can renovate before they care? You can do what you want. I know there's an interesting story out in Olney where my house is. There was a family. This is about 10 years ago or so. There was a family around the corner from me. They were growing. They had 2 kids, and they wanted to expand their house a bit. They owned their house. It was a post-war house built, whatever, 50s or 60s or something, quite small. They wanted to renovate it, but the lot was quite small, and the house that they had on their lot came within, almost to the edge of the lot itself. There was some space, but not so much. So they checked with City Hall what to do, what to haul. what to do. And City Hall said, no, you can't build a larger house on that lot. In fact, the one you've got there is already too big. You're already at the maximum allowed percentage of the lot space. So you can't rebuild. Once that building is down, you can't put another house on there. It's too small. So they were really stuck. They weren't allowed to build on that lot. It was too small. But they had a house on it. It was just old and rickety and whatever. But they're not allowed to rebuild. So what they did was, they took it down piece by piece, all except for, I mean, the foundation had to stay the same, and they left one corner post standing up, took pictures of all this, and rebuilt the whole thing on the same footprint. That's a renovation. That's not new construction. So they didn't need planning permission, they didn't need building code, they didn't need to tell City Hall, they didn't need to do anything. But they basically built a brand new house, but because it was on the same footprint, it didn't count as new construction, it was just a renovation. What's this, all caps is my mother? Not Jed. Actually, it wasn't Japanese people, it was an American lady, but whatever, doesn't matter. That was just the way it would be done anyway. So. And that's basically what we're doing with this building, you know. We've gutted the second floor, rebuilt it. We're working on the third floor. The first floor you saw, we totally rebuilt a new shop on the first floor. We've basically gutted this entire building, everything except the concrete shape, and that's what's allowed. If we tried to tear the building down and put a new steel and structure here, then we would have to follow new regulations. I mean, it kind of all makes sense, you know, as the society matures, they make the new rules. You have to have wheelchair access, there's fire safety, the new building must be 50 centimeters away from the next building. These are all very sensible rules. And as time goes by year, buildings come down, buildings go up, generations go by, the whole structure, the infrastructure is clean and modern and safe. The end result of this system actually is a wonderful system. Modern buildings are far much safer than old ones. But you can't demand that people take an old building and tear it down and retrofit it to modern earthquake standards. It's just not practically possible. So you can laugh at the system that I've just described, but it really does work well. Buildings are a little bit shoddy, which means the lifespan is short, and when they're rebuilt, they come up to perfectly modern code. And they're really strict with stuff like public buildings and schools and stuff. Oh my God, the schools here are incredible. You could have the most massive earthquake ever underneath a school, and it ain't going to come down. Those kids that died in the Tohoku earthquake, they didn't die from the earthquake, they died from the tsunami and stuff. Public buildings here, schools and public halls, they're astonishingly strong. So you can laugh at the system I've described, but actually it is very, very, very effective. Well, that Massey Tunnel in Vancouver, surely it's at the end of its life now, isn't it? Doesn't it need to be rebuilt as a matter of course? When did they build that thing? That must be 1964 or something. When did they build that tunnel? Sure. When we moved there in 1966, it had already been up for a few years. It must be early 60s, which means it's done, I think. We used to live in Ladner. We moved to Ladner in, it would be 1966, I guess. So that tunnel, it was the Dees Tunnel, I think is what it was called. It wasn't called the Massey Tunnel, it was the Dees Tunnel. My dad played for the opening of the tunnel. There you are. But I don't remember using ferries. When we moved there, it was open. Yeah, did it open just as we moved there then, Mom? Ah, Soka Soka. The band from Winnipeg then. The TC band. Okay, I get it. Or whatever the band was called, yeah. March through the tunnel. Imagine marching through a road tunnel playing music in the echo. Why is this called sizing? I don't know, and it's nothing to do with size in the terms of dimensionality. No connection with that usage of the word. It goes back long ago. If you think when people are putting gold leaf on something, on a book cover or whatever, gold leaf is applied with something called size, a liquid. The liquid is painted onto the leather, pressed somehow, gold leaf goes on top and gets pressed. So the word sizing in this art or whatever world goes back quite a long way, and I don't know the derivation. I don't believe it's anything to do with the dimensions, the use of the word these days meaning dimensions. We're calling it sizing in English. There's a separate Japanese word for it, dosa. So yeah, I'm sizing the paper before I cut it to size. It's just, I'm sorry, that's the way English is. I can't help it. Do I plan on doing this for the rest of my life? If you mean sizing paper, no. If you mean making woodblock prints, I guess that's what I'm in for. Do I have any future plans? Life as far as I can see it, what I can see of my life. I'm 67 now, and we've got a fabulous, fabulous business growing, hugely growing. I know. Do I still have that graph on here? I don't know. Does this still exist? Here we are. This is the way our business has been growing on the past couple of years. And it's my responsibility now to sort of nurture it and care for it and not so much grow it some more, but to try and turn this into a more stable place where a bunch of young people can enjoy enjoyable employment, meaningful employment, and bring some value to society. So my job for the next few years is to stabilize this place if possible. I hear noises. Must be Cameron's sound. No, Sugi-san. It's Sugi-san.
Atari.
Atari. Come and say hello. I got her paper out, so it's safe. It's safe. Come and say hello. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Hot carpet. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Whoa! Look at the smooth Medosa. She was upset. That sizing I did 2 weeks ago, it was terribly difficult to print. Okay. Good. Yes, the sizing was bad on the paper 2 weeks ago, and it made her life absolutely miserable. Yes. The prints will come out okay, but my God, it was no fun for her. Now, I gotta flip these before they get too cold. Now, this is a cold sheet now. This is where our system falls down a little bit. Like I said, we're going to change this. We're going to get a hot carpet that covers the whole table so that I don't have to worry about this thing now. And so let's cover this up a little bit. Let me try and warm up this sheet. That's not going to happen. Look, I put it here. Okay, those of you who've seen this before, you know what happens now. This gets flipped over, put out to the side, and the sheets now come back one at a time to do the back side. What I've done so far on these 42 sheets, I've put the sizing, the glue on the front side of the paper. We have to do both sides before we hang it up to dry. How do people have that kind of energy? She's coming to work. She's ready for work. It's nearly 9 o'clock here. It's 8:40. Another door opening. This one must be Cameron's sound. Hey, I can hear it. Yes. Hey, we're getting through this without breaking any breakers.
All right.
Do you see this?
Ooh, is that the bottom of the kotatsu?
It's the bottom of a kotatsu with a fan. He found one that had a fan inside. The only problem is he hung it up here, but he sort of didn't clean it. It's like 95 years old. It's totally covered with dust. If I go tap, we get a shower of dust. So come and say hello to the group. They're having lots of conversation there this morning. I don't know what's going on. So, hello, everyone.
Did Suga-san come in?
Just a minute ago.
Oh, okay.
Like literally 1 minute ago.
Oh, wow.
She seems kinky.
They say.
Oh, I got my stuff in the can last night.
All right.
I know you left really, Hunter. You left 5 minutes too early. You know? I needed to focus. I needed to sit behind and get the focus ready. But you got your train and whatever. So whatever. Anyway, whatever. I put something in place. I put my cereal bowl in place and tried to pretend it was me and tried to focus. And so maybe it's okay. Whatever.
Okay.
Anyway, my part's in the can.
All right.
I did the audio, got it in the can. There's a problem there. It was a little chilly in the stew chop last night, so I left this on.
Yeah.
Normally I take this off and do my video just with a shirt, but I left this on last night, and it turns out that the mic was here,
So it's
and as I'm moving, you can hear this plastic.
Oh, no.
But I didn't discover this till I put it all up on the computer after I'd cleaned up everything, cleaned up all the camera, cleaned up the lights, cleaned up everything. Now, it's not too bad. It's not too bad, but there is this, as I'm talking, there's this sound like this that keeps coming on. And, oh, crap! We need an inflatable doll for Dave. What? Oh, no, focus. Don't go there. Right today. So, anyway, but also I put in I started to assemble all the pieces. I put in yours. I'd like to there's a couple of places, for example, where I reach out and it blurs.
Yeah.
And that's okay for 1 second, but it's over 5 seconds where all we can see is a blurred arm and stuff like that. So let's chop out some of those pieces.
Sure.
It's not doesn't have to be a,
Yeah, that's fine.
No, I don't need. When we finish it, maybe we can zip through it together with a couple of places. And also, you left it on autofocus on a lot of places. It's chasing. It's going in and out and in.
I know in one of the areas, but from the other camera it was even worse looking, so I just had to keep one of those. Yeah.
So the next video, as I mentioned, I gave them a sneak preview. I showed them coming up, I guess.
Yeah.
This one I took last night. And Cameron, what he did was, as I was doing my test printing, Cameron helped with the camera. He shot pictures of me while I was doing the test printing. I asked him as the last minute to do that. So. Wait, what's this? Did Dave get a missed sweatshirt? Have I missed something?
I haven't seen it.
Did Dave get my missed... Jed, I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're talking about.
He probably heard you mention that you liked Mist. And
It was
ordered a
me and my
sweatshirt.
daughter. So me and my daughters did enjoy Mist a lot when we were doing that. We played the first 3 ones, the first funny little point-and-click slideshow one.
Yeah.
Then when they upgraded, we played Riven and we played Exile, I think. And that's the point where we got off the boat. But it's the only game you've ever played ever. Not quite. I know, it's the only official big-name game. I used to play a game called Oxyd, Oxyd, and it's still available. I can't too many things. It was a little game. You rolled on a black marble. It was a game for the Mac back in the days when Mac was just a Mac, and it's been re-licensed now. It's called Enigma.
Huh.
Don't you dare look at it because it'll take you away from your work. Whatever. No, we played Mist. We played Oxyd, and we played a little game on the Mac called Cheese Toast, and I was good at this.
Cheese toast.
I mean, this goes way back. This is like 1986 or 1987. The little black and white little Mac, whatever. It was cool. My daughters and I. It was a teapot that floats in space.
Okay.
And there's the thing about a teapot floating in space. You Google it, teapot space. You'll see what the motivation force is about. But anyway, it's a teapot in space, and it spins and shoots. You can spin, shoot, spin, shoot, spin, shoot.
Like asteroid?
And then stuff comes and attacks you. So if you're this teapot and you're spinning and shooting and spinning, shooting. That's all. I mean, this is really
So why is it
rudimentary
called
stuff.
cheese toast?
That I don't know. But it was fun. It was just, the response was just so nicely programmed. Back in these old computers, there was no color graphics and stuff. So things were fast.
Yeah.
One day, me and my kids, we take turns in playing. We get a high score of 50. Somebody gets a high score of 60. But I don't even remember the numbers.
Yeah.
But one day, it's my turn. Fumi gets out. I get down. I sit and I start doing this. Click, 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 click. Level 1, level 2. Oh, okay, level 1, level 2. And it turns out that I just couldn't miss. You sort of get in the zone or whatever for this, and I'm doing this. We get to a high score higher than the kids have ever got before. And they're yelling, "Dad, don't die, don't die!" There's one yelling at the left, one
that's
yelling at the right,
helping.
and I'm just sort of bing, bing, bing. I think you get 3 lives. Oh, 1 life goes out. I'm on it, and the score just climbed and climbed and climbed and climbed and climbed and climbed and climbed, astronomically higher than what we'd ever done before. And the kids are just screaming, one in each ear. And I'll never forget that till the day I die. They talk about you with your kids, We were separated. I lived in Japan. My kids lived in Canada. We didn't have too much time together. But they talk about quality time and stuff like this. And I will never forget that day till I die. And I'll bet you if I spoke to either one of my kids, they would say, "Dad, do you remember that day we played cheese toast and when you became world champion or family champion or whatever."
Sounds like a good fun memory. That's great.
Can you hold this for a sec, please?
Yep.
But I'm not sure what Jed is talking about. Actually, Jed's a few weeks ago you said, "Did you get my package?" I remember now. He asked me. Jed must have sent something.
We haven't seen it.
No, I'm sorry. Did it go to Ome?
They would have forwarded it or called us or something, I thought. Did you get tracking?
Actually, what I was trying to do was going to put that on, but I can't do that because it's, can I keep this warm and pull the sheets out at the same time? I don't think I can do that. I think we'll just fold back in.
Okay.
Sorry, thanks.
Okay.
I'll just get through this. I'll just get going if I'm talking too much. Crap, that makes me worried. I'll look into it.
Okay. Hope you can find it. Need me for anything else?
I think I'll just press on. Yeah, thank you, sir. Too much. Dave! Don't show Sugi-san. Better, settle down. I don't really know that one up top is having much effect, I don't know. Looking good. I'm happy with the way this is going this morning. Looking good. The siren, that was something outside. Did an ambulance go by? I didn't really listen. I heard something in the background for a minute there. Police card, I guess. I didn't mention all the different prints this batch of paper is going to be used for. It's a real mix, as a lot of sheets are going to a lot of our printers. Kanai-san out in Nagano, she's going to be printing 100 copies of the February print of this year's subscription series. So we're still trying to catch up. You know, the first 100 copies or so are printed in-house here. Suga-san and Ishikawa-san, they've already finished those. Those prints are gone to Ome already. They're being packed, ready for shipping on February the 1st. The second group of people, the second 100 of people subscribed to this year's series, they're running about 2 weeks later than that. And this paper is for their version of the February print for this year's series. Then on top of this, one of our printers in Ome, Tsushima-san, she needs some paper for another printing run of Chibi Heroes. We're still selling lots of Chibi Heroes prints. The first subscription set Jed and I did back in 2013. They're steady sellers. We still keep making them, and Tsushima-san needs to get busy on another bunch. So, and some of the paper here today is for that. Then another batch of this paper is going to go to young Yamamoto-san. He brought in yesterday, or he sent over yesterday, another batch of Great Wave prints, another 50 or 60 Great Waves. If you're on the waiting list, your number might be coming up this month. I don't know. Cameron is taking care of that stuff. And he now needs another job, so he's going to do another batch of 100 or so of the rickshaw cart print. We're way, way, way behind. So some of the paper you're seeing this morning is going to be turned into rickshaw cart prints. Then another batch of this paper is going to be for Ishikawa-san's group of March's subscription print, the one from Jed, the one that looks like Evening Light. It's a scene from Ueno Park or something like that. So it's a real mix here. This paper will be made into different prints and it'll be scattered all over the world a few weeks from now. And one of the cool things about our business, the way we're making prints, is it's such an just in time. This paper I'm sizing now, a month has gone by. It'll have left the building as a woodblock print. It'll be in its new home with color on it as a woodblock print less than a month from now. Suka-san, hello. Saki, you don't need to go to Suga-san, ohayou gozaimasu toka.
あ、来てた。そっか。すいません。ありがとうございます。よいしょ。
Will Hanami cats be ready for Hanami season this year? Not a chance. Not a chance. Not a chance. Not a chance. Maybe. What is it now? It's end of January. Ramen Cat's color blocks are carving. They'll be finished sometime second, third week of February. We still haven't started printing Sushi Cats. The blocks are here, but we've had no printing time to do that. So the Hanami Cat's key block will start carving third week, fourth week of February. That'll be ready in middle of March. The color blocks start carving second week of March, third week of March. Color blocks finished towards the end of April. No, it just isn't going to happen. I'm sorry. Octopus print. I know I did some test printing Tuesday. A week ago or so was the first test printing. The blocks look really good. The 7 blocks that are finished so far. There's a bunch of questions. I know I was originally thinking I should probably publish it in 2 versions, with calligraphy and without calligraphy. It doesn't look so good without calligraphy. It really does need the calligraphy. So I'm going to prepare a block for that and start carving it. But over and above that, there was another question about what the print should look like. And the test printing I did last week, my own moods and feelings kicked in, and I made it neat and clean and sharp and clean and neat, and it didn't look right. So we've got to figure out a way to print it to make it a bit more, not messy, but a bit more less formal. It's not a formal print at all. So the style of paper we use, how we're going to print it, there's some questions that need to be addressed. So there's no way, I'm not ready to sell the octopus yet, I'm sorry. But it is moving step by step, very, very slowly. No, there was no stream for the test printing of the octopus. I did it out of my own free time last Tuesday. I spent the whole day on it. There's no stream. Don't bother searching for it. I did it off camera. Not for any specific reason, just simply that was my day off last week and I spent it in that test printing. So there's no stream, I'm sorry. When it's all done, we will have streams of printing of it, of course, absolutely. Funny talking about the octopus. When I did the video yesterday, I prepared, the new David's Choice video. When I did the filming last night, I finished it, cleaned up, got it all in the can, had a look at it. I told you I discovered there's a bit of an audio problem because I had the microphone. There's also another problem. In the background, on the shelf behind me, as I took the video, the octopus print is visible. I tried to do it right. I took Fridge, Fridge usually sits here. I took him downstairs yesterday and he sat behind me when I made the video. So he is appearing cameo by Fridge in the next David's Choice video. But I was too stupid. I put Fridge on the shelf and didn't notice right next to him there's an octopus print. So it's in the background as I'm making this David's Choice video. I think we're okay. She's not visible, just the gentleman in question. So I think we're okay. But it's like an Easter egg or something in the next video. There's the octopus behind Dave's shoulder. Soka, yeah, I did show the results, so that must be on last Wednesday's stream, is it? When those streams go up to the up to the YouTube page. Was it the next morning, Wednesday morning or Thursday morning? I showed a quick result of the octopus test printing. So that is available in an archive stream. It must be here on the Twitch page. If you go to the Twitch archives here and look up the stream from last Wednesday, there's probably a small show and tell in there. すぐさん、ちょっと見てください。Have a look at this. その夜の間にジョンさん、ジョン・エモスか
あ、ジョンさ
らメール入ったんですが、今年のパトリオンチビのコンセプト、いつもジョンさんが書いてますね。今度のチビはこのものと、今まではスリシ、ホリシ、次はどのような人？
日米さんの
いいでしょ？
紙すき、なるほど。
わかるんですか。ちょっと小さいものですから、日米さんじゃない。それから
水の波裏みたいな。
すごい。で、これからジョンにちょっと編集してください。このものを
もうちょっと波裏っぽく。
そう。でしょ？
面白い。
ナイスでしょ？
すごいね。
そう。
はいはい。さすがジョンさん。面白い。
I can't share it. It's not mine to share. Okay, what we're talking about here. You heard me use the word Patreon. You know, Patreon chibis. Each year we publish a pair of the small prints in what we call now our Chibi Heroes format. So, of course. And for the past 2 years, John Amos, my friend in Georgia, printmaker, print teacher, printmaker friend John Amos, has done the designs for us. And the first design was, there was a pair. We've asked him to do a pair always. One has got to be a nature scene and one is a workshop scene. That's the way it's fallen so far. So for the first year, he did a nature scene of a tree, and then it was a printer, a generic printer, not specifically me. Then the second pair, the year later, was a bamboo water thing in front of a shrine, and it was the carving scene. We weren't sure. We've used up printing and carving, so what do we do next year? What comes this year? So I asked him a few weeks ago, John, can you start to think about the design for this? And last night he dropped something into my mailbox, and can you imagine what it would be as far as making woodblock prints? The first year was printing, the second year was carving. What's the third one this year? What would you do if you had been given that assignment? First step carvers, second step printers. Paper making, you got it. No, you probably just heard me tell Suga-san about it, so it's not really a quiz there. But paper making. So John's given us 2 scenes here. One is a garden scene again, the natural scene, and the second one is a paper making scene. And at the moment, they're not ready to go. They're just sketches, and it's not fair. I know sometimes artists and designers are pretty touchy about this. If I showed this to you now, he's going to say, no, it's not ready, it's not ready. So I don't really feel that I can show it to you. I'm going to write back to him this morning and say, John, they look good, let's work them up. And if he says, okay, then I can share it. But it's not fair right now to share a designer's sketches when they think it's, something not ready for the public yet. So just hang on a bit. But it's a paper-making scene with a bonus. It's a paper-making scene with an homage to the Great Wave. This is going well today. I'm happy so far. If I can keep it under control here. It's warm, it's soft, it seems to be flowing very nicely. Oops. Crease. That's what we're fighting to prevent here. Creases. It comes, I'm pushing with the brush, and the paper can't slide because it's wet. So if I push too much, it buckles up on top of itself. When you do the first side, the paper's dry and it can slide in advance of the brush. But on the second side, if I put too much pressure on the brush, the paper can't slide in advance of it, and it buckles. We got one there, but I think I caught it. Yeah, John, that's the idea. Of course, you can figure it out, eh? Okay, where are we going with this now? It's 9:09. I've still got about 20 sheets to do. I've got a 10 o'clock party to run today. I'm on party duty this morning. So what we'll be doing here is, sometimes, as you know, after I finish brushing it on, I call camera and we move the camera to the next room. I don't think there's time to do it that way here today. It's going to be nearly 9:30 by the time I'm finished this, and I really want this paper to sit for a while, 10-15 minutes, before I hang it up. So what we'll do today, we'll run to the end of this stack here. There's 20 sheets or so left, and then we'll call it a day. We'll sign off at that point. I felt a crease in the middle. It seems okay. No, and I mentioned the other day because I'll be leaving for 10 days in February. I want to do a lot of work in advance to get ahead of it. This is not even that. This is just trying to catch up to what I'm supposed to be doing. This isn't advanced preparation for the vacation. This is just the printers are all needing this. Ishikawa-san, Suga-san, Yamamoto-kun, Dei-chan, Tsushima-san. They all have paper in this batch and they're all waiting for it right now, next couple of days. So this is not working in advance at all. I've still got to start planning for that. Do we dip this in ink? No, we're sizing here today. Sizing. Somebody's going to explain in a minute, I think. This is paper preparation. This is paper that I have received from the paper maker. It's in its raw state, and raw paper is not suitable for printmaking in our style, in our tradition. The paper needs to have a glue surface put on it before we can use it. It's a very weak, very light glue mixture. This is actually glue, but these sheets don't stick together. Well, they would if I let them dry, but we'll be hanging them up in a minute. This is the first step of the process here at our printmaking factory. Okay, got a few sheets left. Then we'll wrap this up because I've got to let this stack set for a while. Suga-san's back.
すいません。
はい、何？
お水ね。よいしょ。
Suga-さんのスリーステーション、今日 OK ですか？何も問題ない？
うん、問題ないですよ。
Don't tell her, but when I did the work with Jed yesterday, I sat at her workbench to do the test printing of those little prints. I did that with her workbench. Don't tell her.
何こそこそ話してんの何なんかすごいこそこそ話してるでしょ
Don't you understand English?
ちっちゃいなんか
Suga-san, how
昨
are
日
your
なん
English?
かやったのなんかちっちゃいやつポケットから出してなんかやって
でもSuga-さんもう分からないと大丈夫かな？
あ、大丈夫何もわかんないよ
昨日火曜日でしょ？スリーシー誰もいなかったらお店も閉まったんですけど、
あそうな
僕
の
の試し刷りの日ですね、テストプリントですね。
テスト
もう河合さんもやったんでしょ？
あ、
河合さんがあのコーナーに仕事ずっと僕どこでできるかどうか。
何あそこでやったの全然わかんない全然綺麗だった
She says she didn't notice that I had used her workstation. Yes, I did. Before I used her workstation, I took pictures. I took pictures. 写真撮ったんですよ。それから I did my job by test printing. And at the end of it, I looked at the pictures and put everything back exactly where it's supposed to be. I took her towel and wrapped it up the same way.
同じように戻して
そう。She didn't notice. She didn't notice.
全然わかんない
そう
いいですよいつでも使ってそんな本当におかしい
sneak peek. Well, I didn't look in her drawers. There's something too interesting about that, though. She has drawers, and inside the drawers are the rubbing tools, the Barons. And we have a workshop stock here, Barons that I've prepared over the years, and the printers all use from there whatever they want to use. But she also, over the past couple of years, has got her own rubbing tools. And I didn't and wouldn't, and nobody should ever touch those. I didn't even open that drawer to look and see what was inside it. I brought my own rubbing tool. So what I used was her seat, her chair, her bench. I put my paper into it, did the rubbing, put my blocks, did the rubbing. So I didn't really, there's nothing evil has gone on here. I didn't touch any of her personal tools. It's as though somebody came inside of my bench and used my carving knife. And we don't ever do that sort of thing, of course. Just I used her workstation. I brought my own tools into it, brought my own paper into it, and then cleaned up and left at the end of the day. So it's okay. There's nothing evil has gone on here. That's why I can laugh and chat with her about it, you know, because she knows I did nothing wrong. If I had used her Barons, she would think, what's he done? You know, that would be no way. Okay, here we go, the last sheet. And we have an easy enough relationship that I can tell her about this, obviously, make a joke about it. And yeah, they are. This is all actually my stuff. Everything in the building is mine. So whatever, you know, I am the owner and the boss. So. So it's just as long as you behave politely. You know. Okay, where are we? It's 9:23, and I have come to the second side of the stack. As I told you, we are not going to run through to the next room for a couple of reasons. One, I want this to sit and soak for at least 10 or 15 minutes to spread this glue out. There's no danger of it sticking together because of the heat. It's warmed up. Let's get our blanket. Let's get our little blankie. Okay, so this paper is going to sit here now for, I said about 10 minutes. I've got to go downstairs, get the door open for the staff, and get ready for the first print party of the day. Then I'll come back here and hang this up. So we are done here this morning. You know what that sound is? Okay, there we are. What's today? Today's Wednesday. Tomorrow is Thursday. I will be back downstairs. Depends on what... let me turn that thing off now. We got through it without blowing a fuse. Tomorrow, what I'll be doing tomorrow is one of two things. I might still be doing the last little bit of tracing on that iPad job. But what I hope is I'll try and find time tonight to finish up that iPad job, print it out, so that tomorrow I will be back carving on that same print I've been carving for the past week or so, the boys' faces. In fact, that's what I'd better do today, because if I don't, there's not enough tracing to fill up a whole stream. So that's the plan. And then also, stand by for a video. I don't know if I'm going to have time to do all the video editing tonight. Cameron's going to do a bit more re-editing on the piece he did for me. We'll see. It's possible that later today or tonight there may be a YouTube video, David's Choice number 7, about 25 minutes of it, may be up and running sometime in the next 24 hours. We'll see. I'll try and get to it. Okay, I've had fun with this today. The work has been going well. I'm enjoying what Aoyama-san has prepared for me. The paper, I think, will be in good condition for the printers. I think this has been a generally good little stream. Thanks very much, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same station. See you again. Bye-bye. Thanks for the friendship. And I need this to be able to find the button here. Okay, FaceTime camera off. We're in on hot mic. I'll have a read of the chat here later at lunchtime when I'm eating my sandwich. Bye-bye, guys. Thank you again.